Hey everybody, Kerzac here again in my backyard to bring you another review. And today I'm reviewing the Transformers War for Cybertron Siege Voyager class Soundwave. Now Soundwave here is a, I believe they're calling it a hovercraft. Some kind of hovercraft, and I'm going to call it a spaceship. I mean, it's a spaceship. Let's be honest, it's a spaceship. It's a thing with engines on the back that we're calling something that's just a robot that's really folded up. And I mean, they did try to make it look like a spaceship or a hovercraft of some kind. You know, we actually have landing gear on the bottom for one thing. Well, those arms are coming and pegged along the bottom. We can see actually have some landing gear right here. It's not wheeled, but it is something to land on. It does sit on it just fine. The front does kind of give the impression of some kind of lights or cannons all on the front. We do have these engines sticking up that give the ability to fly. Kind of reminds me of Star Trek with the motor, the little not blasters, but the boosters along the side and such. So, and we do have a little cockpit right there, a little clear plastic cockpit, no detail on the inside really, so it doesn't look bad. You know, along the side you can actually see the detailing for his leg and such, and these are pretty obviously the arms. Then you look at the back and it does kind of fall apart because that's obviously his chest mode. I mean, what else could this be? The button's even there to put cassette in, but you know, they did try. It's alright. The new Earthrise Soundwave appears to be using the exact same mold. Not the exact same mold, but like the same robot mode, but transforming into his actual G1 cassette. And there's even third-party pieces to get this guy transformed into his G1 cassette style mode, so there's workarounds for it if you really don't care for the spaceship. He does come with some sort of accessories. Some accessories, if I can speak. And these are his traditional battery pieces. You can attach them, personally I attach them to the engines, or the, I'm going to say they're engines. And, you know, add some weaponry, or you could say they're extra engines to give them extra flying power and such. So that all looks good. I also have this little piece that can attach to it. This can peg in anywhere, but strangely enough, his little aiming slot right here can actually fit to this slot right here. And actually has an extra piece just sticking off there. It doesn't really act as a gun per se. Just an extra motor, extra launcher, however you want to put it. So it's a weird little thing. It's odd how this weaponry attached is. You do have all this paint up here. This silver paint is just for the vehicle mode, as you can see. All silver, very nice looking. And you do have the little bit of black right here. It's a lot harder to see in robot mode, so it's good to see. Actually, you can't see in robot mode because these panels flip over. So that is just for the vehicle mode. And it does carry over Siege's, I guess you could call it a gimmick or style of having the battle damage with the silver kind of battered all over. You see the same with the back here, which would be the chest. The glass looks all shattered and such. You also see a little bit along the sides here, and a little bit of gunmetal kind of gray splattered onto the arms, so that all looks alright. So let's hurry on to the robot mode. Transformation's not too bad. Go ahead and just remove all the accessories again. Like so. Alright, when you are transforming into vehicle mode, you want to make sure these flaps come down first before you tap them into here. And they do have this little piece sticking up right here you can flip out. It's not necessary for the vehicle mode, but it is technically part of the vehicle mode, so make sure you flip that little piece out. Actually, it comes through the back right there. Anyway, on to the actual transformation. Go ahead and come down to the bottom here. Go ahead and flip this landing gear up to go ahead and get out of the way. Split the arms, and I'll just give you room down here to bring everything down. So you can come up here, and the whole piece, including the cockpit, comes untabbed. And it comes out on this little double hinge, double strut right here. Comes back in and tabs right there. Take these two panels along the silver panels, they fold down. Split the legs, turn them forward. These front panels just flip out. You flip out the feet. These panels actually fold up nice and cleanly and fold back in. Can't really tell it transformed. That is one thing about this vehicle. It is a very clean transformation. Bring it on up. Oh, I should probably mention this. He does actually have an official lamp mode, so I'll show that off real quick. Fold that piece up, and we'll just fold these up like on top like that. Bring the arms up and tab them in. And for the lamp mode, it's basically just like this. You leave the boosters up here. Take the arms, just fold them on back. I think it actually is folded up like this, maybe. Something like that. You do something with the arms. I think you just fold them back like this. And you just bend them over a little bit. And that's the lamp mode, street lamp mode. It's not in the instructions, but it was on the little holographic on the box. And it does have some similarities to its G1 version. It looks okay. I mean, it looks kind of like a lamp, especially with these up here. You can see their spotlights or something. But you know, we're going to get into the actual rope mode. Just straighten the arms back out. Flip out the hands. Go ahead and flip these back. These are the landing gear, and we'll talk about those in a second. Bring this back, the backpack. You are going to break it down. It'll fold open a panel, which will reveal the head. Just flip the head on out. Bring the panel back up, and then these come back on this little double strut, much like the waist, and just tap right back in. And there you have your Siege Soundwave into his robot mode. And he looks pretty good, if I'm being honest. I think he looks pretty dang good. Despite having the weird spaceship mode, he's a very G1 looking Soundwave. Even if you do decide not to get the Earthrise version, you just stick to this one, I think you still have a really fantastic looking Soundwave. I personally don't like the battle damage look, and that's why I'm switching this guy out for the Earthrise one. But if they didn't have the battle damage paint, I'd probably just keep this one, to be honest. For comparison, here is Earthrise Thundercracker, and you see they are basically the same height. So if we had Starscream in here, they would be the exact same height as well. Well, at least the exact same height size as Thundercracker here. I think Thundercracker is like a hair taller than Soundwave, but not a noticeable amount. And I just realized our Soundwave is actually incomplete in this robot mode because we are supposed to attach his shoulder cannon here. And Soundwave just doesn't look right without a shoulder cannon, does he? You can't really say you have a proper Soundwave without it. But yeah, just pulling him back for a minute, just getting a good look. He is definitely a very nice looking Soundwave. I don't think there's anything wrong with this Soundwave at all. I mean, I don't like the vehicle mode, I really don't, but this is in robot mode, he looks fantastic. He looks positively wonderful, especially in the chug scale where we haven't had a proper Soundwave like ever. We had like the War for Cybertron, the Fall of Cybertron Soundwaves, we have the music label Soundwave, but this is the first time we've really got a proper chug style one that resembles the G1 figure fairly well. Getting a closer look here, you can see he has the yellow eyes, much like his G1 toy does. I know it'll bother some people, but it doesn't bother me too much. I don't mind Soundwave having yellow eyes. It fits his color scheme pretty well. And he has his usual very Decepticon-shaped head. He does have paint around his guns here for the red, make it look at the batteries. There is gold around this right here to give him his tape deck, a little gold line right there. It's got a little crack battle damage, the Decepticon sigil. It looks nice and clean right in the middle. And the tape deck does open up if you had one of the Micromasters of any of the tape cassette figures. They would fit in here. You could actually close them up. It only fits one from what I understand. His hand is actually sculpted to fit the button. He's actually got his finger sticking out. You can see that's actually sculpted with those slight little fingers sticking out. So you can, and with a double elbow and everything, you can actually get him a pretty decent deploying tape deck look like that. And if you deploy, you can actually kind of make it look like he's sending out Ravage or Laserbeak to attack or go scout or whatever else Soundwave wants them to do. Go pick up a sandwich. You never know. So that all looks pretty good. Like I mentioned, his legs are very well painted. They look very nice. You got the black, you got the very yellowy gold. It's a different gold from this chest, so it looks very neat. It stands out and it's very bright. You have the silver here with the pink and gold buttons. It is a very similar yellowish gold to what's down here on the legs. He does have his tape deck painted right here, even though he doesn't transform to the tape deck, so that all looks pretty good. He's got the red lines around the wrist there. So that all looks very fantastic, if I'm being honest. He does have some accessories. This right here, you just push the little button at the back here, it pops out the front, pull it out. That gives him his G1 gun right there. That looks pretty good. And he does have this, and from what I've seen on both TF Wiki and multiple people mention, this perfectly fits as Megatron's weapon. As if you peg into the back like this, you can actually see it's like a little gray pipe that sticks out the back. And if you put it with Siege or even the new Earthrise Megatron, it fits perfectly as his G1 style little gun tower sticking off his back that forms the gun barrel. So I don't know why this came with Soundwave, but it almost reminds me of how third parties sometimes give their figure fixes with other figures. It's a little weird that it came with Soundwave, but you can still use it as a weapon. You can hold it, it's like a double-barreled gun. You can also fold it out, and it kind of reminds you of like a rocket launcher kind of thing. And you can also peg his weapons into it if you really want to. I don't think this looks that good, but this is like the official combination for all these weapons. You take this and just tab it together like so. Take the other one, tabs in like that, and you have this big long thing. Yeah, it looks a little ridiculous to me too. Maybe this wouldn't be that bad, but I personally think it looks kind of neat. You can actually peg it to the top like this, and you can kind of give them kind of like what Siege Ironhide had with the hammer. You can actually peg into his arm like that, or put his hand like this, and you can say you actually give him a hammer. I don't know why Soundwave really would have a hammer. It's not really the melee physical type, but I think it doesn't look that bad, to be honest. But if I were you, I would just give this to Soundwave, his G1 gun. And I would either leave the gray one kind of folded up like this, and have him hold it as a gun, or just peg it to your back of your Siege Megatron if you have them. Or, you know, just peg it back here. Just leave it back there for Soundwave. You can have it there for whatever reason if you want to. He actually does have a little bit of our weaponry though. The landing gear from the spaceship mode are still there, and they can actually flip out and act as over-the-shoulder cannons. I'm not sure if they're actually cannons, but they look like little guns, and I'm going to say they're like weapon artillery. You can actually use them to shoot upward and such, and they do work on a hinge. And he does still have the other landing gear underneath his arm, so he has that too if he really wants to use that. And heck, he even has the backpack guns. And while you can't fire them straight, you can say they're anti-aircraft or anti-air cannons. You can do all that, and you actually have a pretty armed-to-the-teeth Soundwave. Which is very scary considering he's supposed to be the communications officer. And even he's armed to the teeth. Really strikes fear into your soul, doesn't it? Not trying to sound sarcastic there, it actually is kind of impressive how much weaponry this Soundwave comes with. Oh. For whatever reason, this is a separate piece, so it does have a tendency to pop out. So be careful with that, especially if you're buying this guy second hand. For whatever reason, his handgun doesn't have the same problem. I'm not sure why they decided to make that a separate piece, but they did. But, you know, all's good and good. All that's left is his articulation, which is pretty good. His head is ball jointed, it swivels all the way around. It can look up and down slightly, but only slightly. It's mainly just for looking left and right, but you can have him look up a little bit. The arms are universal, so they can go all the way around, they can go outward. They have that kind of thing where it fills in a little bit when his arms stretch in certain angles. You do get a swivel. And you do have a double elbow joint, so you have one there and there. You can get the full tight look. Nothing at the wrist, unfortunately, but he does get a waist swivel. So that's pretty nice. So you can spin them all the way around. Make them look a little ridiculous. These panels here do flip up to give him a better articulation. There's no panels at the back blocking his way. So his legs can go all the way forward and all the way back. Go all the way outward, and you can actually do a really high kick if you really want to. You can get him doing one of those crazy anime, karate anime style high kicks. You actually get a swivel there. You do get a 90-degree knee right here. The feet are articulated a little bit. They can go forward and back a little bit, but they can tilt, so you can get his legs spread. Let's get all that other stuff undone. It looks a little bit awkward, but you can give him a good pose going. Give him a weapon. Can sit there and get his tape deck going. The hinges on my hands are a little bit loose, so they do flip back in very easily. And there you go, you can get a pretty good articulated looking Soundwave. So yeah, he's pretty neat. He's a very nice Soundwave. I probably made him look a little bit ridiculous how much I mess around with him, but that's kind of the fun of him, is that there is a lot to mess with on him. He has the G1 gimmick, he looks like the G1 Soundwave. He can even have an official lamp mode. The spaceship allows him to be able to articulate his waist and all that. My only complaint is I really wish they had given him some wrist swivels, but it's not a big deal with how much they did give him with a double elbow in the waist and even the ankle tilts. I think he's a perfectly fine figure. So I think he's worth your money. Even if you don't like the spaceship mode, I would recommend just waiting for the Airfry's figure to come out. He looks like he's probably the same robot mode. I can't say for sure until we see more of him or see a video of him or something. But he does appear to be a very similar figure, and I think it's going to be pretty nice to have him in a G1 color scheme with not vehicle mode, the G1 cassette player mode. But yeah, pick him up if you can. So this has been Kerzac. I hope you enjoyed this review, and I hope you have a great day. Take care.